A rabbit?
Yes, he'd pulled me over because I'd hit a rabbit. Didn't mean to, and he was threatening to charge me with cruelty and leaving an animal in an injured state.
Tell him you're in the job or what?
Well, I didn't get a chance because he pulled out this bottle, stuck it underneath the bunny's nose, and it jumped up and hopped into the bush. And I said, "What was that?" And he said,
Hair restorer.
Hair
Yeah, I've
restorer.
heard it before. Can't believe I fell for that.
Got you. Hook, line and sinker, buddy.
Hey, Dash. Nice little side swipe.
There's no one here.
No sign of life here either.
Looks like someone's been injured. I'll get the rego. I reckon it's been forced off the road.
Nice little deduction.
Oh, smarty pants. Mount Thomas 208 to VKC.
Go ahead, 208.
Can I have a car check, please? Bravo, Foxtrot, Juliet, 233.
Mount Thomas 208.
Hey, Dash.
Yours is a 1981 Mazda 323 hatch, and it comes up to one Susan Kathleen Croydon.
She's about 100
How much
centimetres.
Just a smear on the inside of the door. Look, boss, we've done a thorough search of the vicinity, but there's no sign of either Susan or the other driver.
Do we know who that is yet?
Yeah, well, the car's registered to an Andrew Donald Maxwell. Melbourne address, nothing else known. The Diggers Reef's just up the road. Do you want us to go there and see if they've gone there for help?
Yeah, all right, McKinley. Let me know.
Yeah, we'll do. Going over.
Mount Thomas Station back on channel.
Boss, there's still no answer at Susan's place in Melbourne.
Well, they're at work or still at uni.
Well, did she say when she was coming?
Just sometime today.
There's no joy at the hospital. You didn't say anything about her coming up.
She's been offered a job temp teaching at Mount Thomas Primary. They only rang her yesterday.
Boss, if she couldn't get a car started, maybe she decided to hitch a ride.
Well, she's probably having a cup of coffee at a servo.
Oh, really? Why hasn't she run?
Well, what about the other driver, this, what is it, Maxwell?
Well, the name rings a bell. There used to be a Maxwell on the Olsen Davids Road. Where are the phone books?
Can I help you?
What do you people do with these things? Who had them last?
Margaret Doyle did, sir.
Excuse me. No, I didn't. I gave them to Dash.
And what's she done with them?
Trying a seat.
Oh, would you look at this? I know she's a short ass, but why would she need four? Maxwell's, they run a boarding kennel, I think.
Okay.
PJ, where did that guy go?
What guy?
Doyle, run a driver's licence check on this Andrew Maxwell, will you? See if he had an address in the area. If so, go looking.
Good afternoon. I'm Constable Doyle from Mount Thomas Police. I was wondering if you know an Andrew Maxwell at all.
Andy? Yes, he's my nephew. And what's he done now?
Oh, nothing. We believe he may have been involved in a minor motor vehicle accident.
Is he dead?
No, as far as we know, he's fine. But his vehicle has been found and he appears to have wandered off. And there was a second vehicle, the driver from that's gone missing too.
What do you expect me to tell you about it?
Well, have you heard from him?
Nope.
Are you expecting him at all?
No.
Well, he was en route to this area and this was his registered address.
I haven't seen Andy for over 4 years. He's not going to turn up here unless... Have you been in contact with your brother lately?
Might have spoken.
I thought we talked about that.
Yeah, we did. I just thought, a surprise for your birthday.
A surprise? Like the last one he gave me?
I just thought...
I don't care what you thought. You just keep that mongrel out of my way. If you've got any more questions, ask Brian.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Now, what did you want to know?
His brother said Andy was planning on leaving sometime between 11 and 11:30.
Which means the accident
Took
must have
place an
happened.
hour and a half ago.
Well, it can take that long to get a lick.
Oh, why haven't Cooper and McKinley sighted her on the highway?
Mount Thomas 208 to Mount Thomas Station.
Mount Thomas Station, go ahead.
Boss, no one's seen her in Diggers Reef, but there is a back road and it could save a couple of Ks.
I received that.
You reckon Susan know about the shortcut?
Wouldn't think so.
Well, this Andrew bloke might, though.
Yeah, it's going to be worth a try.
Yeah, all right, McKinley, go ahead, have a look.
Received that.
Excuse me, Constable Doyle?
Oh, Mr. Maxwell.
Yeah, getting worried. I was hoping you might have heard something about Andy.
Oh, boss, this is Brian Maxwell and his brother, Sergeant Tom Croydon.
Look, I couldn't help but overhearing. Is there a young woman involved in this accident with my brother?
Why do you ask?
I was just wondering whether Andy had got himself a girlfriend.
Mr. Maxwell, would you mind waiting in my office? There are a couple of things you could help us with. Please, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, no problems.
Just take a seat. Doyle, get on the disc office. I want anything on Andrew Maxwell.
You Andrew Maxwell?
Yeah?
Where's Susan? The girl you're with.
Oh, I left her, back there in the paddock. She sprained her ankle. You're right.
Yes.
I'll get you some ice.
Susan, are you all right?
Yeah, Dad, yeah. I just went over on my ankle, that's all.
Come in and sit down. Come on.
Okay, don't fuss
I'm
though,
not
Dad.
fussing. Come on, just come and sit down.
G'day, Andy.
Well, let's get this.
Brian, what are you doing here?
We're getting concerned about you, mate.
Are you sure Auntie Nita wants to see me?
Sure she does.
You're Andrew Maxwell, I take it.
Yeah, that's right.
You can do the interview, McKinley. We're looking at careless driving for starters.
What?
All right, now, just be careful. Well, he ran you off the road, didn't he?
No, that's not what happened.
Well, that's what it looked like, isn't it, McKinley?
Well, at first it looked like that he'd run her off the
Are you
road.
two going to listen to me? It was my fault. My engine had overheated, so I pulled off to let it cool. And then when I pulled back onto the highway, I didn't exactly check my side mirror.
I offered to give her a lift, but after the accident I couldn't get my car started either, so we decided to walk.
Yeah, it was going great until Andy suggested we take that shortcut across the paddock.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. Wasn't a dead loss. We found out we knew each other from school. Bubs.
I used to try and look up her dress.
Can I help you, mate?
No, well, I just got into town. Someone has to stay.
Well, one good turn deserves another anyway. Why don't you join us for dinner tonight?
Tonight?
Yeah, you don't mind, do you?
It's very kind of you, thanks.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
This is all right, not too cold.
No, it's okay.
The first night home, I thought we might have dinner together, just the two of us.
Can you believe that brother inviting himself over?
Probably missing his family.
We'll have plenty of time together, Dad.
Oh, yeah, when?
I don't start work for a couple of days.
I never hear from you anymore.
I'm sorry.
Just hi, how are you every once in a while. Be nice to know what you're up to.
I'm sorry. What would you like to know?
Nothing special, just ordinary everyday things. Like you're still sharing with those two girls, for instance.
Angela, yes. Monique's moved back to WA with her folks. I've got someone else in the house now.
Was she a student too?
He is. Yes, his name's Tyrone.
Oh, this Tyrone, he's taken over Monique's room, has he?
Here we go.
Here we go, what?
You know bloody well what.
No, I don't. It was just an innocent question.
Oh, that wasn't an innocent question. You were fishing to find out the sleeping arrangements.
I was not. Look, I just want to make sure you're happy, that's all.
Tom, they're primary school kids.
You are never too young to learn about your own local history.
Well, what, the expense of learning to read or write?
Why can't we do both? Why can't I get them to read and write about, Starvation O'Flynn, for example?
Who? I rest my
The
case.
district's most notorious bushranger. You mean to say you've lived here all your life and you've never even heard of him?
He was called Starvation because he perished of hunger up in the hills behind Mount Thomas. He probably would have ended up on the gallows otherwise.
When was this?
1880s.
The long drop.
Sorry?
Oh, they were using the long drop to execute condemned prisoners by then. You died from a dislocated neck rather than strangling to death.
Paul, anyone?
Sometimes during public hangings, the friends and relatives of the victims would pull at their feet to get them out of their misery.
Andy, mate, they don't want to hear about this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, there's no need to be. Listen, if you're interested, maybe I could show you around some of Starvation's historic sites.
Aren't you going to be busy over the next couple of days?
No.
Well, we could all go together sometime over the weekend.
See what I have to put up with? It's all right, Dad. We'll be fine. Where are you staying?
At the Imperial.
Okay, I'll give you a call. You were saying something about Port?
Just have anything on Andy Maxwell?
No, sorry, boss. We had a Warmberg this morning, but they're running the check through now.
Listen, my daughter's about to spend the whole day with this bloke. I want to know how worried I should be.
You'll be right. He might have had a go at her yesterday, but he won't touch her now he knows who her father is.
You have a listen to his lecture on hanging techniques and see if you'd want him dating your daughter.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Mate, did you get any results from fingerprints on the bird?
It was.
No. I had to let us know.
Right. Thanks for that.
Well, the offender was gone when you got there.
Yeah, we cruised the streets, but we missed him.
Did you get a description?
Nah, nothing worthwhile. Adam and Dash are finishing up the door knock now.
How'd he get in?
He jammed his way through the back window. He got cash, jewellery, all pretty standard. Oh, one weird thing, though. The family Cocker Spaniel's gone missing.
It didn't just wander off.
I don't think so. Well, they normally keep it chained. Chain's still there. It's no dog.
All right, keep me
Thanks very much
posted.
for your help. Bye-bye. Boss? Andrew Maxwell was interviewed in relation to the death of one Michelle Dunn at St David's in 1994. They're faxing through the investigation summary now.
How was she killed?
It looked as though she'd been running the engine to check the radiator hose for leaks, and the necklaces dangled into the fan belt and throttled her.
That would have ripped the bloody head off.
Well, homicide didn't believe it either, but they could never prove anything. They think that someone strangled her and they made it look like an accident.
Andy.
He was a prime suspect.
Oh, Chris, have you seen Susan? Has she left yet?
Susan left where?
Yeah, she was meeting somebody here.
Because a lot of hold-ups took place. Dad!
Susan, I need to talk to you in private.
A minute. Now, would you mind telling me what all this is about?
You can't go out with Andy Maxwell.
What?
You heard. Just make some excuse. You can't go out with
Why the hell not? What are you on about?
Look, if I told you I'd be breaching ethics, just take my word for it.
Oh, God, you've been checking up on him, haven't you?
His behaviour last night worried me. I had Maggie check with the disc office, and thank God I
believe
did.
it. Dad, are you going to check up on all of my friends?
Susan, this bloke could be dangerous.
Dangerous?
Yes.
The last guy you objected to drove too fast.
Susan.
And then the one before that got picked up for shoplifting.
This is not the same.
And then the one before that had a weak chin. They're never good enough, are they, Dad?
This is not about that.
Yes, it is.
It is not. Andy Maxwell could be a murderer.
Then why isn't he in jail?
Couldn't prove it at the time, but that doesn't mean to say that he's innocent.
Dad, look, I'm not going to listen to any more of this. Andy wouldn't hurt a fly. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm keeping him waiting.
I still think it's cruel.
No, you see, cruel is having your newborn calf mauled by a pack of dogs.
A Cocker Spaniel could not kill a calf if it tried.
No, what I'm saying is that dogs, they join up and they hunt in packs. Did you just say Cocker Spaniel?
Yeah, Phil McKinnon found it dead in his back paddock. He wanted to know who'd been laying baits without his permission.
Oh, and this is the missing dog from the bird?
Yeah, we checked his dog tag.
Right, well, what have you done with the carcass?
Oh, we just left it in the paddock.
What?
No, we took it over to T-Board to make sure it was baits the dog had been taking.
No, I better let the owners know.
Yeah, good eye.
Coffee?
Coffee.
Oh, boss, how did you go? Did you catch them before they left?
Bloody mother. Can't change her mind about anything. They've disconned through the investigation summary yet?
Yeah, PJ's got it.
There
Just
it
go
is. Now,
through it.
boss, there's already been a full inquiry. Now, if there was
For
further
God's sake,
evidence...
PJ, this is my daughter. There must be something.
All right. Well, it might be better coming from someone not so personally involved. So Maggie and me will make a few discreet inquiries, okay?
Yeah, my oath I want the case reopened.
You weren't satisfied with the homicide investigation?
Up themselves, the lot of them.
Jodie, you were the one who found your sister, weren't you?
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it just wasn't right.
In what way?
They said she was working on her car and got her necklace caught in the fan belt, right?
Well, it was a leather thong.
Yeah, but it wasn't hers.
It was attached to a medallion in the shape of an M.
Well, I'd never seen it before.
Doesn't mean it's not hers.
I shared a house with her, I'd know, wouldn't I?
So, Jodie, in your opinion, it wasn't an accident?
No way. It was that weirdo she was going out with.
Andrew Maxwell.
Andy Maxwell.
Jodie, what makes you so certain that he was responsible?
She'd finally had enough and she was going to break it off with him.
Did he know that?
I can't prove it, no. But she was gonna tell him. And I reckon he just lost it. Strangled her to death.
Thank you. Thank you, much appreciated. Did you find out anything else?
No, not very much.
Jodie Dunn's still positive that her sister was murdered by Andy Maxwell.
Based on the fact that Andy's a little strange.
A little, I'd say more than a little.
Yeah, all right, more than a little, but it's still not a case, is it?
Well, what about the medallion around her sister's neck?
Circumstantial. It doesn't place Andy at the scene of the murder.
There were fibres from her clothing found in his car.
They were going out together. According to his statement, he was over 20 k's away at the time of Michelle's death. Right?
And who corroborated his story?
I answered all these questions 3 years ago, and that poor girl died.
This isn't an official investigation, Mr. Maxwell. More in the line of a confidential chat.
Sergeant Croydon has a personal concern.
Look, I really don't know how I can help you. As I said in my original statement to homicide, Andy was with me.
So you're comfortable with Andy spending the day with Susan Croydon?
No. Talked about that.
Talked about what, mate?
I'd rather not.
Hang on. What did you talk about? Did you talk about Susan? Did you try and convince Andy not to see Susan?
I didn't think it was a good idea, that's all.
Why? Is it because things happen to women when they go out with Andy?
Michelle's death was an accident.
Well, I put it to you that Andy was obsessed with Michelle.
He was jealous, that's
He
all.
got it into his head that she was seeing somebody else. He went around there with a jealous rage and he murdered her.
And you lied to homicide to give him an alibi.
What was I supposed to do? He's my little brother.
Oh.
I was trying to protect my brother.
Fancy naming a picnic ground after a bloke you starved to death.
Oh, look, he's rented one of Sal's bombs.
How you going, Andy? You good?
G'day.
Where's Susan Croydon?
Susan?
Where is she?
Oh, she's,
You keep an eye on him, will you?
I
Shut
wouldn't
up.
if I were you.
Gee, you'd think they'd provide proper toilets.
Sorry.
Dad sent you, I take it?
Yeah.
Your brother's already indicated he wasn't with you on the day Michelle died.
He did? What did he say?
Never mind about that, son. What do you say?
I never wanted to lie in the first place. It was Brian's idea. He told me the police would think I killed Michelle, and then I needed an alibi.
Well, tell us what really happened then.
Brian and I had an argument. I needed time to think, so I went off by myself.
Where did you go?
I don't remember. Just got in the car and drove.
Well, let's see if we can jog your memory, eh? You drove to Michelle's.
I didn't go near
You
there.
accused her of sleeping with someone else.
No.
In fact, she hadn't, but she was sick and tired of your paranoia and your wild accusations. So she decided to break it off, and you did your block and you killed her.
That's not how it happened.
Tell us how it did happen then.
I wasn't there.
Well, I put it to you that you strangled Michelle Dunn to death.
No.
And you bought her a leather thong with a medallion on it, as a peace offering.
I'd never seen that.
She didn't
I
want
told
it,
them.
did she? She didn't want it, she didn't want you. So you used it to kill her.
No.
And you tried to cover it up by making it look like an accident when she was checking the radiator of the car. And what do you say to that, Andy?
Nothing. I didn't kill her. She had an accident. It wasn't me.
I know, well, I just...
I'm sure Homicide would like another chat now that his
There you
alibi's
are.
been broken.
Susan, let me
Who the hell do you
explain.
think you are? Sending out the goons to break up a peaceful picnic.
Said I
You're
was
very
sorry.
lucky that's all it was.
Oh, that's right, I beg your pardon. Andy's a murderer, isn't he? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Dad, but all he murdered today was a
Susan,
sandwich.
if you would just listen for a
Is this
change.
the way it's gonna be? Are you gonna run in every guy that seems attracted to me?
The last one who was attracted to this bloke ended up dead.
You can go to hell.
Susan. Thanks very much, Right, fine. Can I get your stupid rung?
Excuse me, boss. There's been another burg. This one sounds nasty.
Give approximate time?
No, the lady goes to work early and she drops her son at school on the way. So the place has been empty since about 8:15 this morning till I got home about 20 minutes ago.
Well, maybe one of the neighbours saw something.
You want me to start a door-to-door?
Yep. Take Adam and Dash with you.
Okay.
Are you sure there's nothing else you can do?
No, sorry, Tom. If you come up with anything else, let us know.
Hey, Greenie, when are you going to buy me that beer, eh?
Yeah, you'd be lucky.
Yeah. Assume because they're not taking Maxwell away in cuffs, he didn't talk.
No. Listen, I think we need to go back to where Michelle Dunn lived. Check with the neighbours. Someone must have seen something
Yeah,
in the
well,
car.
I'd love to help, boss, but I've got these burgs to take care of.
Burgs, listen, I've got a possible killer in there.
Yeah, I've got one out there, and I hate to see what happens if we disturb this guy at the scene.
Boss, should I tell Andy where to go?
Not on your life. You sure it's the same MO?
Yeah, except this time with a sick new twist.
Well, maybe not so new. The last job, he had a real dog to play with.
PJ, I don't see the link. That dog was miles away from the first burg and it had taken a bait.
Go ahead, VKC.
From Constable Cooper, a resident 2 doors from the McClellan Street Burg reports a suspect loiter in the
T-Ball.
vicinity around the time of the offence.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Ready
It's
for a
PJ.
description?
Yeah, go ahead, VKC.
He's had autopsy yet. Yeah,
Suspect described as approximately 185 centimetres
Yeah, that's
tall, neat casual dress with short sandy hair. Received?
Yes.
God, that Andy Maxwell, that,
Yeah,
that
received
description
that.
fits him.
Yeah, but he was with that Susan all day, wasn't he?
Only since 10 o'clock. PJ!
Boss, according to T-Ball, that Cocker Spaniel was strangled to death with a cord. Come on, Andy. The jobs were done by someone answering your description. You got nobody to vouch for you. So what's going on?
I've got a job in Melbourne. Why would I need to steal?
Does your employer know about your other interests?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Interview suspended at 6:23 p.m. for Constable Dork to talk with Senior Detective Hashem. Just one sec. Andy, Sergeant Croydon tells me you're quite the expert on death by hanging and strangulation.
I've read some books, that's all.
Oh, so have I. Does the name Mary Blandy mean anything to you?
I think so.
Oh, it must. She was hanged in the 17th century for the murder of her father. On the scaffold, she asked the hangman to not hang her higher for the sake of her decency.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, now, Andy, how does that story make you feel? Does it get you going? Thinking of a woman's decency? She dances on the end of a rope. It does, doesn't it? Gets you real hot, doesn't it? You know, it must be a real thrill putting a rope around a dog's neck.
I've never done that.
Was it the same with Michelle, Andy? Come on. I really want to know, how did it feel?
Excuse me, boss. Brian Maxwell's here. He's brought a solicitor with him.
Show him in my office, will you?
Cheers.
Sergeant Croydon. My name is Alice Corby. I'm a solicitor retained to represent Andrew Maxwell.
Yes, Mr. Corby.
I understand Mr. Maxwell has been here now for some hours. Do you intend to charge him?
Not yet, but we're talking
Then I
to him
must
about a
insist
number
on
of
his
matters.
immediate release.
Mr. Corby, we'd like to have him for a while longer.
I'll be advising my client not to answer any more questions, so there's no point, is there?
All right, go and get him. Mr. Maxwell, you said before you were worried about your brother. You admitted it yourself.
Don't say anything to him.
I don't understand. Why change your mind now?
Sergeant Croydon, I must
He's my
ask you
brother.
to...
It's my job to look after him.
Now, mate, you're free to go.
Not till you've put him through the book.
Mr. Maxwell, are you satisfied with the treatment you've received at the station today?
Suppose so.
Good. Just stay away from my daughter.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Sign here, please.
You're letting him go?
Jodie, hi.
I thought you were going to do something.
We are trying
How could you
to.
let him go? How could you let that bastard go?
Jodie, there simply wasn't enough evidence.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
evidence.
Well, what are these?
They're letters. Letters from him to Michelle. They're sick letters.
Did you show these to Homicide?
They didn't think there was anything wrong with them.
Can we hang on to them?
Look, you've got to do something, please. Don't let him get away with this again. You've got to do something.
We will do our best, all right? Now leave it to us, okay?
Susan? Susan, I'm home. Gone. Walked out in a huff.
Well, where to?
Oh, I don't know. Nick and I have been up most of the night trying to find her.
Here I am, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready for work.
Morning.
McKinley, do you think you could make me one of those?
Here, have mine. No, don't. Don't mention it.
Your blood's worth bottling.
Listen, boss, this whole thing is about Andrew Maxwell. Maybe she's gone off to find him.
First thing I tried. Chris said he didn't even go back to his room at the Imperial last night.
Well, what about that aunt of his?
Won't have a bar of him.
Maybe Brian will keep him out of trouble.
He hasn't done a very good job so far. You right there?
Constable Doyle, please.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Susan's nicked off.
Again? What's she got this time?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be here.
Well, has everybody read them? Because I think they probably should.
Well, 3 of us have, and...
Any new leads on the Maxwell case?
Well, it's bloody hard, but no one comes up with anything new.
You have to be kidding me.
They're letters from a guy in love with a girl. Yes, he says some over-the-top things, but people do.
Well, we've re-interviewed everyone.
Burn them for all I care.
Something pretty
I
interesting.
still reckon it's just some guy making a fool of himself.
Yeah, but maybe more dangerous than most.
Thanks. I'll tell the boss what you told me.
Well, it might be something, it might be nothing at all, but cruelty to animals is usually the first sign of a serial killer in the making. Yeah, well, that's what the boss is so worried about.
Which means Andy might have strangled other women besides Michelle using the same MO, the cord or some such.
In which case, a file must be on record.
Well, why don't I check disc for murders with that MO?
Yeah, tell mate, especially over the past 3 years. He might just be able to get him.
I'm going to hit the phone again. Maybe Susan went back to Melbourne after all.
Righto. I reckon we should have a chat to Aunt Nita, eh?
What's she going to tell us? She kicked him out of home.
She might be able to tell us why.
I haven't changed my mind, Constable. He did turn up. I'd show him the door.
And what about Brian? Does he know where he is?
If you can find him, you can ask him. I haven't seen him since yesterday.
Miss Maxwell, I don't want to dredge up the past, but it could be important. Why are you so angry with Andy?
I kennel dogs for a living. But my first love's always been breeding shepherds. I was good at it too. And then my brother died. Elsie, his wife, she died the year before. There's no one else for the boys.
Is that when you gave up the breeding?
No. Oh, no, I kept going for another 20 years. Despite having the boys on my hands. I had an Australian champion about 6 years back.
When did you give it away? Well, it's been 4 years since you've spoken to Andy.
Will you please leave me alone?
She obviously cares more about the dogs than the kids.
I wonder how many skeletons are rattling around the Maxwell family closet.
Well, if Nita won't tell us, maybe the neighbours will.
Oh, come on, break it down. Patsy, I only asked if you'd seen her. There's no need for that. Patsy. No, Susan and I have not had a fight. Yeah, all right. Listen, just, if you do see her, could you please ask her to... No, ask her to call me. Yeah, same to you, Patsy. Yeah. Yeah, bye-bye.
I like her.
Oh, I don't know, Nick. You do your best to try and protect them.
We didn't have much luck with the disc office either. They can't tie Andy Maxwell into any similar offences.
All right, circulate descriptions. Andy Maxwell, Brian Maxwell, Susan. Motels, guest houses, service stations, pubs, the lot. I want them picked up.
Is that a good idea? Because the solicitor only sprung Maxwell...
Just do as you're told, will you?
Sal's son just saw their rental car heading towards Widgery. 2 occupants. Male driver, female passenger.
Who? Where's my daughter?
I don't know. I haven't been with her since yesterday.
You're lying. You were seen together less than half an hour ago.
No, that wasn't me.
What have you done with your car?
What car?
Your rental car, for God's sake. The one you were seen driving towards Widgery with a female passenger.
That wasn't me.
Who was it?
My brother, I guess.
Brian.
That's right, yeah.
Come on. All right, let's go back a bit. Where did the pair of you go last night?
I don't know. Out in the bush somewhere. Brian said we weren't going back into town until he talked some sense into me.
What did he mean by that?
He wanted me to stop seeing Susan. Told me I'd just get myself into trouble and I had to let him look after me.
What sort of trouble?
I don't want to talk about it.
You're going to talk about it. What have you done with your car?
I told you Brian took it. I didn't want him looking after me anymore. I've got a job now. And a flat. I'm doing all right, you know.
What did Brian say to that?
He got really angry. That's when he took the car and forced me to walk back.
Dash just called in. She's in a search of that whole stretch of the highway from the roadhouse to Widgery. There's no sign of Maxwell's car.
He could have dumped it in the scrub. It'd be hard to see from the road.
Yeah, Airwing's going to be there 10 to 15. Now, do you want McKinley to come back here and take me out there?
Yeah, thanks.
Mount Thomas 509, Mount Thomas Station.
Mount Thomas 509, go ahead.
Nick, we just finished talking to the neighbours out here, but it's not quite what we expected. Better put the boss on.
Right, he's listening.
Seems Nita gave up dog breeding after a future champion bloodline pups were found hanging by piano wire from a tree. All 3 of them.
Well, Andy did it.
Nita blamed him, but people around here don't think he got his fair shake.
Who do they think it was?
Andy's brother. Brian.
Are you saying we've got the wrong brother?
I'm saying if anyone's a killer, it's Brian.
He made me watch. You know, when he strung up Nita's puppies.
Then why did you think it was you?
Nita was the only person he was scared of. When he saw how she reacted, he panicked and set me up. Put a bit of the wire in my drawer and said I'd be next if I opened my mouth.
And you believed him?
He gave me these tests. And if I failed, he'd string me up and... Yeah, I believed him.
Couldn't your aunt do anything?
She didn't care. Wouldn't have known what was going on anyway. Once he put a noose around my neck and kicked a bucket out from under my feet.
How did you survive?
He left the end of the rope loose. I ended up in the dirt. Brian almost cacked himself.
Andy, we think that your brother may have Susan.
Just hope that he doesn't.
Yes, but if he does, have you got any idea where he might have taken her?
I'm sorry, he never confided in me.
Are you sure there wasn't somewhere, a special place?
There was one spot he used to mention. He called it the hanging place.
The hanging place, do you know where it is?
I don't even know if it exists. He used to threaten to take me there sometimes.
Andy, why did he hate you so much?
I killed our mother.
You what?
She died while she was having me.
Proceed to Maxwell's Kennels. Do a thorough search of the entire surroundings. You're looking for somewhere known to the suspect as the hanging place.
Can you give us any other details, boss?
Just use your initiative, McKinley.
Receive that.
Now, you think this place is real or just a product of Brian's twisted imagination?
Or whatever, it's real enough for him. And I'm betting Michelle Dunn found out exactly where it is.
Well, let's just hope Susan isn't the next one to find out.
Well, it'd have to be somewhere near the kennels, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's got to be dozens of secluded spots around Nita's.
Look, the rest of you better get out there and join Schultz and McKinley.
Adam, where did you find the strangled dog?
Bill McKinnon's
Yeah,
place.
no, I know. Where exactly?
Hang on a second. Just here near the opening to Catcher's Gorge. Just there.
Secluded enough for you? Can you hear that?
Hold it there, Maxwell! Stop, please! Hold it there! Stop, please! Stop! Susan! Susan! Stop there! Susan! Stop! Dash! Get the rope! Don't worry about him, get the rope! Get the rope! Hurry up! You're right, Susan.
Got her?
Yep.
Got her?
Yep.
You right? Come on! It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. It's alright.
You're right, Susan.
Yes.
First aid kit from the car.
I was, stupid. He came to my house. He was, charming.
Okay, you take your time, Jodie.
He, said there was something to show me.
And that's when he took you to Catcher's Gorge?
No, we went into Widgery first. Stopped at the hardware store.
Did you think that was a bit weird?
Oh, yes, of course. But he said we were going up this bluff. And that we needed some rope.
So when did she get sus to him?
When they got going again, she said that his mood changed and it freaked her out. She kept asking where they were going, telling him to stop the car, and then all of a sudden she's got a gun pointed at her head.
What was it, rifle, handgun, what?
And she said it was a sawn-off 22. Anyway, he kept talking about someone he called the Scab's New Hall.
Susan.
Yeah. He said he was going to kill her, but Jodie got in the way, and so he had to deal with her first.
Excuse me, boss. I've got the Pines Guest House on the phone, and a girl fitting Susan's description checked in yesterday. Nick and Adam are on the way.
I don't think you want to go in there, boss.
Dad!
Oh, Susan, thank goodness you're all right.
Well, I was all right.
Rightio, in.
I don't believe this. You're actually going to keep me a prisoner in
Let's
here?
just call it protective custody, shall we?
And what if I refuse?
Then I'll handcuff you to the bloody chair.
Well, can I have Tyrone with me?
You can have whoever you like, as long as you stay in there until it's safe for you to come out.
Now, you two children keep your clothes on. I'll be checking. Don't ask.
Any news on Brian Maxwell?
There's no more sightings and homicides on standby.
Police cousin here, boss. He's getting braver and more dangerous.
Well, he's been frustrated by Susan and Jodie, so who's the next target?
Thanks very much. Boss, that was one of Nita Maxwell's neighbours. She says that a white Honda Accord has just driven into the Maxwell property with 2 males in it, and she reckons it's the Maxwell brothers.
Maggie?
Leave her!
She's going to choke to death.
That's what I'm hoping.
Do yourself a favour, Brian. Put the gun down. There's no getting out of this.
Well, I'm not counting on getting out of it. Now let's all make ourselves comfortable and watch this old bitch die.
That's not going to happen.
Touch that raven, I'll blow his head off.
Come on, Brian. Already committed one murder. Do you want to make it two?
I've been serving a life sentence since the scab here killed my mother. You know what that's like for a little boy? 1 minute a soft, loving mother, the next a virgin Nita. Do ya?
It wasn't my fault!
Getting a little uppity, aren't we? I should have tugged your leash earlier.
Kill me if you want to, but it wasn't my fault!
Shut up! You know what happens to scabs, don't you? They get scratched.
You blamed me ever since I was born. Hated me for just being alive!
I said shut up! You don't have the right to speak. You don't have the right to exist. You are nothing.
I'm someone!
It's all right, just relax. There you go.
You all right?
Say I do, maybe give me that excuse. Do you understand that?
You all right?
Yep. No, she's right, mate. Nah, she's right.
You've been okay, you're right?
Yeah, fine. Everyone's fine.
Attempted murder. What's that? 10-year sentence? And 5?
Do you deny murdering Michelle Dunn?
I have absolutely nothing to say on the subject.
Interview suspended at 1923 for sending Detective Hasham to talk to Sergeant Croydon.
How's it going?
You wouldn't cough to anything but attempted murder.
I've been on the homicide. Green wants us to hold off. Had him over there first thing in the morning. Look on the bright side. Maybe he'll buy you that beer.
Boss, can I have a word, please? Can I try one more thing before we hand him over to
You
homicide?
heard what they said.
Oh, I hate to say it, but I think Greenie might be right. It's going to take hours getting a confession out of him.
Oh, not if he's already confessed.
Hey?
Maxwell's an egomaniac, right? So he'll be keeping a record of his exploits, even if it's just for posterity.
What diary you reckon?
Yeah, I can't have a look. I'll look after her. Miss Maxwell, how are you?
I'd be a lot better if people had stopped fussing.
And Dr. Hamilton wanted to keep her in overnight in case of shock.
Miss Maxwell, there were never any signs of mental problems with Brian?
I should have paid more attention.
Well, Andy's in my office. I'm sure once you've signed your statement, there are a few apologies you'd like to make.
Not really, Sergeant. You see, I was perfectly happy with my dogs. I didn't want to be a parent in the first place.
Just over here, Miss Maxwell.
Thanks, Nick. Well, Mr. Maxwell, you're free to go. Here are the letters that you wrote to Michelle Dunn. Andy, I was wrong about you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were.
I said I was sorry.
Brian said I'd never stand up for myself. Well, I did today.
He did more than that, son.
He never would have killed me.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Brian needed me alive to make my life a misery.
You were taking a hell of a risk.
If I died, the game was over.
Good luck.
This is pretty sick.
We'll probably find out that he liked lighting fires as a kid. It's another common characteristic.
Where'd you find it?
Underneath a floorboard in his bedroom. All they've got to do is match the handwriting.
Yeah, we'll be giving it a homicide on a platter, won't we?
What do you mean, we, white man? It's all in there, including his sideline into burglary.
I'll borrow this. It's only for half an hour. I'll bring it right back.
No, I wouldn't if I... Yeah, look, Susan features pretty much in that. It's pretty rank.
Yeah, there's not much doubt that she would have been next.
Look, there are things that you don't want to read and there are things that you have to. I just want Susan to realise how close she came. Susan?
Yeah, I'll be right there. Hi.
No to Rome.
No, yet to go back to Melbourne.
Pity.
You did want to know more about my private life?
Not quite that much. Let's just agree to keep some topics off limits, eh?
Agreed.
I hope he makes you very happy.
We'll see. Do you think you can trust me enough to find out for myself?
Susan, it's not you I don't trust.
Well, I was right about Andy, though, wasn't I?
Yes and no.
Dad?
You were still under threat.
Oh, you're under threat crossing the road.
Look, not everyone's as nice as you'd like them to be. There's a whole other side to human nature, you know?
You're paid to look at people as suspects. I can't lead my life that way.
I'm not trying to tell you how to lead your life. I'm just asking you to be a little more cautious.
Well, it's very good advice, and I'm sure it'd keep me nice and safe. But it's not the way I want to look at the world. I'd rather take a risk and concentrate on the good in people.
Susan.
Yes?
I've just got to nick back to the station. Won't be long.